Hello, this is Natasha Astara from Earth Mother Star Child, and this is my podcast series on Journey to Wholeness. And I think we're on part 4. It's quite easy to lose track. And I'm going to discuss a bit today about the process of how we need unity and our unity consciousness to move back to wholeness. So this is all part and parcel of the journey. We've come from so much separation and disconnection, and we see that with a lot of the mind programming for battles and conflicts, how conflict can arise from virtually nothing. And what you find with an individual, with myself, what I see in others, is that we can have conflict within ourselves, which doesn't always make a lot of sense. And most of this conflict comes from trauma, and it can be trauma from this life, or it can be trauma from past lives. Sometimes I see it can be collective trauma. It can also be ancestral trauma. It doesn't always have to be something that you experienced yourself. However, because we are all connected, this experience ricochets, it vibrates all the way through us all, and we all experience it. And this is part of our journey back to wholeness and unity consciousness here on Earth. Because if there's one thing that we are beginning to understand, is that if something is happening somewhere, we are all affected by it. It's taken us a long time to work this out, but it's slowly coming into the consciousness. And it's very interesting because how much resistance there has been to this process also highlights the split, where people do not want to accept and embrace parts of themselves, the truth and the true parts of themselves, their authentic self. So we see this a lot when we come to working with people, because there is a lot of subconscious, unconscious versus consciousness in behavior, a lot of light and shadow, and the energy field can become very incoherent. And so one of the things that I like to consider and look at on our journey to wholeness is the very individual healing process that goes on, that we're all going to experience, and many people are experiencing, including myself. And this is about integrating parts of ourselves that we have denied and disassociated or been unconscious, unaware of. This is also linking to our own shadow aspects, the bits of us that we really don't want to own, we don't want to believe a part of us, and we don't want to have anything to do with. But unfortunately, they are with us all the time, and they are being expressed, and they are part of how we are in the world, whether we want it or not. So part of this healing is the return to integrity through integrating and welcoming back, embracing all those different parts of ourselves that we'd rather not embrace. So one way that I definitely see this is in the clinic room with people that I'm diagnosing with Chinese medicine, but I also definitely see it when I look in the mirror at myself. But I want to explain why holistic medicine is a much better route to healing yourself than allopathic Western medicine with drugs. Although, that has a place. I don't want to kick that out, but I think it's really important to acknowledge why a holistic model is important. So a holistic model of medicine embraces all the different aspects of self. So it looks at the physical body, it looks at the mind, the mental realm, it looks at the emotional realm, it even looks at the spiritual realm, the spirits, and it encompasses all of these as part of the diagnosis, because we have the most amazing energy system. The human body really is incredible, and we just understand a fraction of it by looking at the physical level. Although the physical level is pretty amazing. This is why no one's been able to actually make a human being. I mean, it's just incredible how complicated we are, and what an amazing instrument we are. We are consciousness in matter. I mean, you really begin to see that, how our physical bodies are expressing that. So I'll give you an example. So if you have a sore knee, a bad knee, see a lot of people with bad knees, they come in, and as we're working on their knee, we're working on a physical level, but the knee is also expressing an emotional level. Usually there's fear connected to the knees, and because the knees are connected to the kidneys, and the emotion of the kidneys is fear, and that's the water element in Chinese medicine. So we have all these different connections that come from holistic medicine. We can also link that back into the spirit of the kidney, which is the Z, and I often see trauma, which is held in the kidney through fear, terror, but also the kidneys are part of the energy that's created from conception, which also holds the Jing, the ancestral energy, the information that you receive from your parents. So you can often hold fear from others. It holds the energetic qualities of water. So we are looking at potential. We are looking at flow. We can also become stagnant and stuck and dry. So we're looking at all these different aspects that come in. On the mental level, we can get things that come out of fear, like future fear fantasies, and just being very fearful, paranoia, all sorts of things that are linked through into the kidneys. So just simply from a knee, someone coming in with a sore knee, we are suddenly really linking in with all different parts of that energy system and makeup, which are about the soul inhabiting the body and the journey that the soul is on. Can also link into the personality and the mind matrix patterns and the behaviors of that person. So by working on the knee and the points around the knee, helping to ease, and the knowledge of the kidneys helping to ease that area and to create balance and flow and reconnect up. Often if we're seeing this, people will be completely unaware that they are experiencing a fear about something. We can see this on backs as well. I mean, I'm covering huge amounts of information here, but we can see this on backs when people come in and they're having, a lot of problems with the lower back, and a lot of that can be about feeling supported in life. Depends where it is on the chakra, how far up it is. But if it's the lower, it can be about support. Sometimes it's financial and worrying, and once again we're in the kidney area and fear. And we're also in sometimes the sacral area, the solar plexus, which can be about how we use our power. And just you can begin to see how the body is absolutely perfect for a holistic medicine approach. So this is nature's way of showing us that we have a continual map that is showing us how our energy is flowing through our meridians, through ourselves, and how integrated we are. Because often when I see a client and they come in and we start treating their knee or their back or whatever it is, as the sessions evolve over a few weeks, we begin to notice lots of other changes, like positive changes. And one of them can be reconnecting in with parts of themselves which they were not aware of, like reconnecting with themselves as a fearful child, reconnecting with any trauma that may have come through from past lives but is held in the cellular memory. we begin to see a deep process of integration, because the more we can integrate and return to wholeness and help our energy system, then the more it can balance. Because if you have a split, then there is a polarity and the energy is flowing in different directions, or it becomes blocked and or even cut off, like it may not have any energy going to that area. And it's important that that flow is restored so that the energy system can balance. This is one of the things I love about holistic medicine, is because it really is looking at you with wholeness and in your entirety, and helping your physical matter return to balance, but allowing your energetic matter to flow through to it. So this journey to wholeness becomes very individual, because the body has allowed us to begin to see our patterns of imbalance more clearly, and to obtain help through going to practitioners to help, and it increases our awareness. Now, in allopathic medicine, which has its place, we see a different sort of way of thinking. It's more about classification. If you have a sore knee or a sore back, you'll go in and have that area worked on, and that can be very beneficial, don't get me wrong, but it's really not bringing into integrity all the other parts, the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, into the physical, to help really have awareness over that part that is split off, to embrace it back into the energy system and into the heart. So I can imagine that we're gonna be in this process for hundreds of years. Well, that's what it feels like. That's my, I'd like to think that we are going to make progress within 10 years or something, but I'd love to see most people using holistic medicine. But it does require an awareness and to not be so resistant to owning our own healing processes and helping to gain understanding about who we are and ourselves. I feel that most people are in denial about aspects of themselves and resistance because they're afraid to really see what's there. Because let's face it, nobody really wants to know that they're a very angry person or that they're somehow very fearful. A lot of those things are very difficult to process, and most people don't have the time or the energy to go there. But really, this is the work. This is the individuation of who we are, and the self-empowerment is to go through the processes and embrace ourselves fully in the heart so that we can move back to unity and wholeness. So I've rambled on again on this podcast. If you are interested in my work, then please check me out on www.earthmotherstarchild.co.uk. I'm Earth Mother Star Child on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and I'd love to hear from you. I also do paintings, and that's at natashaastara.co.uk. Okay, so tune in again for another podcast, and I will get to talking about the masculine-feminine split eventually. And I hope this was interesting for you, and if you appreciated it, give me a like. Okay, bye.